going on, guys? It is your boy Seso here, bringing us a Photoshop tutorial here today, bringing us a cool little white color scheme background design today. And I know I haven't actually done I don't know, I looked at my channel, I was like, yo, what can I upload this week? And I haven't done something with a white color scheme in 7 months. That's a long time, guys. It's not nice. So I thought today I show you guys how to make a really nice, it just looks dope. Like the colors, there's actually really not that many colors. Of course, it's a white color scheme, but I'm talking about like the lighting. I was trying to say the lighting looks so good around the leaf. Yes, I'm gonna be using leaves again. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but it's not really manipulation. It's just more like using leaves. That's pretty much it. But in almost all my manipulation tutorials, I've been using a lot of jungle and leaves, so it just fit the situation. So the point of this video is showing you guys how to make a really cool, nice, like, as you can see, the lighting is really nice. It just looks very pure, like a really nice style. And overall, we're using, like I said, we're using leaves. You can use whatever the hell you guys want. You can probably even build off of this leaf. If I really wanted to go like really into it, if I was like, I don't know, some client said I want, you know, a banner paste based on what you did in this video, and this is the video that you're watching right now, I would probably like build on this leaf and just make other leaves like come out this way and then just work around with the lighting effects. But this is like a basic, you know, simple thing to do. And the font that I'm using here, I believe it's called Lemon Milk. Yeah, lemon / milk. So that's the font that I'm using. And I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm gonna show you guys where I actually already have like the pictures already set. But literally I just typed in leaf and raindrop, as you can see, and then I got this leaf and now also the other leaf I'll show you guys in a second, and then like raindrop for like the very I don't know, it's not really that minimalist, but you can kind of see it if you just look right here. Like there's little raindrops here. So all this little simple added detail for this very like just very dope look to it. I don't know. So I want to show you guys how to do this, and it's pretty simple. So we're gonna start off with obviously building the background to make it look as good as possible before we start adding things to it. So for this tour, we're gonna start off with a really nice, really odd like blue offset. I don't know. No matter what, the hex code for this is BBC. Oh god. 3CB. I didn't do this on purpose. All right, so that's the hex code. Okay, we're gonna make a new layer here. We're gonna go ahead and use a soft brush here, right? All right, so sweet. Basically, what this is gonna help us do is like set us with a very nice offset, almost white, but of course has that nice little blue tint to it. So with that being said, if like I were to compare like, you know, this color right here, for a second I'm gonna change my my background for the color scheme in the background here. This is like it's not even offset white. It's almost like a blue hint to it. The reason for that is because how we started the background. So if I just put this to like white, or like a simple, like somewhere near white, you can see that this background here is actually not, you know, not even offset white. It's just, it has gray in it. It also has that little simple little blue tint as well. So that's why I want to start off with it, just because it just stands out really well on like a white background space. So if it was on like a YouTube or something like that, or if it was on Twitter, you know, white background is going to be you know, it's going to be the color of the background. So of course, you know, you want it to have it stand out just as much as possible. So of course, that's gonna just put this back to like a nice little black. That's fine. So yeah, that's the reason why we start off with that little offset color there. And so pretty much with this new layer, we're gonna be using the soft brush, which is basically in like all default brushes here, like the brush that looks like this. Basically, make sure your hardness is at 0, and we're gonna change this color from what we had before to a nice little maybe we'll go offset white, so just a little below like solid white. So F0, F0, F0 is this what I'm gonna go for here. So this is like, it's not very difficult, but it's kind of frustrating in a way. So I'm going to click once right in the middle, and I'm going to find myself with a very, you know, white blotch in the middle. So I'm going to lower my opacity down on this new layer, and I'm just going to see, like right away I can kind of see like this little gradient going on right now. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to make this like 35 or so, and we are going to say that is okay. Now what we're going to do next is going to make another new layer, and this is just building up. We're just building up the background right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use like a gray, like a very soft gray. Now, not too gray like here. That's like, you know, that's very gray. I want like something like this around here. So C5, C5, C5 from hex code. And you don't have to like copy my exact, you know, I just want to show you guys or tell you guys what they are. But I'm going to click like maybe like a little, like a triangle kind of thing. So like top left, a little bit to the top, you know, or middle left area right here, and then top right. And I'm just going to lower the opacity down a little bit as well. And I just want to try to build like a very odd, like unbalanced, just not like a solid white background. That's just gonna really like make this whole entire background look really sick and dope and come out with all these nice colors and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and just one more time, this time with a solid white, and we're gonna go ahead and click like that's fine. Like top left-ish, you know, like you can see in the middle over here, and then like once in the bottom right. And I'm gonna lower the opacity down, and that's pretty good. I like how this looks. So basically, it was just 1, 2, and 3 little layers of simple lights. The first one we did was like a very offset gray. Or offset white. This was like a very, you know, gray tone. And then the third one's just a pure white, just trying to get more light going. So this is going to be our, I guess, our base. But we're not completely done. Do I have rulers on this? Alright, so if you don't have rulers, I am in a Twitter header dimension, which is actually 1500 by 500 pixels. This is a Twitter header dimension, so if you ever want to make a Twitter header, this is what I use. And Twitter resolution, however, you only need a 72, excuse me, but I use 200 because it makes me feel better. So I'm going to press OK, and that's what I had here. So to use rulers, if you don't already have them unlocked or basically in view distance here, you can see like these little, this little ruler right here and here. You can see if you press Control R, that's how you hide and unhide them. So I believe it's like Command R or something like that on Mac. But anyway, when you have them like, you know, visible, you can see these little lines here. If you just click and just drag them over, you can just basically kind of freehand where the middle is. Just because if you like think where the middle is, so I'm gonna say like the middle is like around here. So I'm just gonna hover around here, and then it's gonna snap. It's just gonna snap to the point like where the middle is, and like I'm trying to feel it snap, and it's not. There it goes. Now it's snapping. So that's the middle of that, you know, dimension, and I can do it the same way horizontal, and I can just find that snap, and it's like right here. So pretty much that's how I like get my quick little middle ruler. So make sure you do that, just because it's going to set this off better. So you can see this is my middle line here and my middle line here, and I just want a little bit below, maybe like an inch or so of like space on the bottom. And this is where we're going to have my second like layered of like white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and use M on my keyboard, which is a rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to go ahead and just hover and click, drag this all the way over here, and I'm going to use a maybe like a gray. We'll just go like a nice little gray here. And since I did it on my, I believe this is my background color, not my foreground color, so it's Control Backspace to go ahead and quick fill that in. I can press Control D to deselect, or right click deselect, and I can hide and unhide my rulers by just pressing Control H. So now that I have this, I'm just going to go ahead and see, I'm going to really quickly just see what happens when I just scroll through my, my layer styles here, my layer modes. No, I think I'm going to stick with normal. I'm just going to lower my opacity down really quickly. Maybe like 30%-ish. And I'm going to take a nice soft eraser. And I'm just going to go ahead and erase. Just like so. Just to kind of give that like standing distance. Or like some kind, you know what I'm trying to say here, right? Alright, so maybe like that's good. So I want to get this right here. I don't know if you can like really see it, but there's like a simple horizon line like right here. It's blurred out, of course. I'm gonna blur it in a second, but you know that's kind of what I want right there, and it just sets us off for like a really good look, or a good place to like plop a, you know, a text or whatever on it. In this case, a leaf. So I'm gonna do really quickly. I'm gonna go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and we're just gonna blur it to about 3 pixels or so, and that's pretty good. I'm gonna press OK, and then I'm just gonna maybe lower my opacity down just a little bit more because it doesn't need to be too visible. That's great, perfect. So as you can see, this is like very tedious, but it, you know. When I say it's frustrating, it's just because like if you don't find, like if you just feel like it's off in one area, you're gonna have to fix another area, and it's gonna be annoying. In my example, I almost had like 7 different of these layers, but you know I'm trying to keep it clean and not too, you know, annoying for you guys to actually learn it. So I'm gonna call this horizon line. Sure. And that's what that is, right? So pretty much now I'm gonna take a quick little color correction here. So I'm gonna go to my little half circle here. I'm gonna go to brightness and contrast, and very quickly I'm just gonna put my brightness up to about 10. Just for now, and this is going to be that's basically it for the background. We're going to start working on some of the other stuff now that we have this kind of stuff going for us here. So pretty much all that excuse me, the only reason why I did this was just because I want things to look more brighter, of course, but I don't want to get rid of that blue tint. And using a color correction for that is pretty good because I don't really have to work with, you know, going back in and like, you know, try to get these colors. Because of course, if you were to set yourself with these kind of like these whites and stuff, but I didn't do that. I just used grays and stuff like that, and I wanted to get it more vibrant. So what I did was I just put my brightness up on the brightness and contrast, and I set us up for a nice little simple little white stuff here. I don't know if I want to put to 15 actually. Let's just go for like halfway-ish, 12. Sure, I'm down with that. So now I can actually bring in my leaf. So where is the leaf that I'm using? I'm going to just drop this in, drag it in. Right, this is the leaf that I'm going to be using. And before I do that, actually I'm going to make a text really quickly, which is obviously T on your keyboard. I'm going to call it simple again. And we are going to go ahead and say 12 points is good enough, I think. Yeah, I think I'm down for 12 points. All right, so pretty much now I'm gonna take my little leaf here. I'm gonna just Control T to free transform. And if you guys, like I said, all I did was literally type in leaf, and it was like on the 4th row or something like that. Wait, let me just drag it here, or maybe like the 5th row-ish. And I just found a little leaf layer. And you don't have to always use a leaf, but in this case I am using a leaf. So I'm gonna press Alt and Shift and click this little top right, and I'm gonna drag it. And I'm just going to get enough to where I can kind of see myself cutting off a little bit of each of the letters on the outsides. But still enough to see that it's the same letter, like an E. Like, I don't want that to make it look like an L. That's good enough. So pretty much I'm just going to use a simple, I would pen tool this out if I'm doing it for a client and stuff, but for, quick reference, I'm just going to use a magic wand tool, and then to actually get rid of more little white stuff around it, I'm going to go ahead and go to Select, Modify, Expand, and expand it by 3 or so pixels. And then I'm going to delete it again. It's a very quick way of doing things, not like the best way in the world, but, it doesn't really matter for me right now. And actually, I'm going to have to lower this just a little bit, or shrink the size of this text, just because I want to fit the E in pretty well. And I think that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control, and actually, we should do a little box as well, just because I did the box for this. And so, alright, so to do that really quickly, all I did was I used M on my keyboard, rectangle marquee tool, I made a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and just click and make a box right above, or like, I just like kind of fit this little text in this box here, right, with the rectangle marquee tool. Fill it in with any color, doesn't really matter. I'm going to Control D to deselect. I'm going to hold Control and click on the thumbnail of the text so I can go ahead and cut this out. Basically, then, it makes a little selection of the text, and I can cut it out of this box that we just made, right? So press delete on your keyboard. I can get rid of this text, just hide it. Control D to deselect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control and click on this thumbnail of the new little box that we just cut out, and then click on our leaf now, right? And I'm going to press delete on my leaf now, and I'm just going to hide this now, and then pretty much you get this, right? Very simple, and it's just like, I don't know, it just makes it look good in my opinion. And it's just like this a little like feature, just because I cut the leaf out very terribly, but I kept it this way in the tutorial just to show you guys like a little simple texture trick. I don't know, this made me like pat my own back for like, quickly doing things, but it made it look pretty cool, right? Like little S is cut out very, jaggedly, and like a cool little texture just with the text and itself. But yeah, that's fine for me right now. So pretty much now what I have to do is I have to make the lighting look a little bit better for like the leaf and stuff, and I'll add the other leaves in the future. But right now I just want to leave this. So right now I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete these 2 little layers. We don't need those anymore. We got the leaf. Alright, so I'm going to make a new layer. And pretty much here just comes a spontaneous white brush right here. So I'm using a soft brush again. I'm using solid white, I believe, right? Solid white. And I'm going to go ahead and just make a simple, like, 3 hits around the leaf. And then 1 over here. Right? There we go. I'll lower the opacity just a little bit. Or will I? Actually, I'll just lower it to, like, 80 or so. Right? So you can see already now the leaf has a little bit of, light shining on it. It doesn't look terrible. And so what I'm going to do again, I'm going to make another new layer. I'm going to use color this time. And the one color that looks, like, really good in my opinion is, like, purple. Or, like, a pinkish. Like, something like this. Like that, right? I'm gonna do is just gonna click like here and like here, just for now. And I'm gonna change this blend mode from normal to lighten. And since it is a white background, the color will not be seen unless it's hitting another color. So there we go. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm moving the light just a little bit. You can kind of see it, right? You can kind of see like the leaf right here change a little bit of color, right? I'm just gonna do it again. I'm making another new layer, like a smaller brush this time. Click with lighten. I'm going to change it to lighten, and then click and find out where I kind of want a little bit of light to show in places, right? There we go. I'm going to take another color, so I'm going to use blue this time. I'll just lower it to like, I don't know, here or here. And we'll change it. I already made a new layer. I'm going to go to lighten, and then we're just going to go ahead and click. I can click on the outside a little bit, but there's no reason to really click on the outside. It's just really trying to figure out where you kind of want color hitting this leaf right now. So right now, this is okay for me. As you can see, the leaf is like getting really nice and coated with like lighting effects, and it just looks good, in my opinion. So right there, I'll just keep it like that for now. And I'm going to add the other leaves for a second, just because I want more going on right now. And so the other leaf I'm going to be using is... What other leaf are we going to be using? I'm looking on my other screen. I just want like a nice little, like, I had this nice cool little raindrop leaf. Where is it at? I'll show you guys. I'm just literally, I don't want to like flip and like find some weird, alright, this one right here. This is one I had before. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to drag it in here, and oops, I'm going to use Control T, right, to free transform it and just shrink it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out with a pen tool just because I don't know, I already tried, using the magic wand tool. So I'm going to quickly cut this out with a pen tool. Not going to be a perfect cut, but it's going to be good enough just for the tutorial, of course. Just like so. Right. Okay. And then like over here. Pen tool this over here. And then we'll connect it, and then we'll just cut it out. And layer via cut. There we go. Now we have a leaf cut out. And I just got another texture leaf with like a blue, or like, excuse me, like a little, I guess, like raindrops on it, of course. That's what's on it. And I'm also going to change the hue of this just because I want like that nice little, I guess I have like a very, like a shallowy kind of green going on here. So I'm just going to use the hue and change it to match that color, and maybe even put the lightness up just a little bit, just to try and match what's going on everywhere else, right? All right. There, that's a little bit of a match, right? So pretty much now, I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit more. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put them in like different areas. I'll shrink the size as well, just to make it look cool. And also change the orientation a little bit, right? I'll shrink this one more. That, and then like one over here. Make it like over there, and then I'll use the bigger one again, and I'll put like a nice little half size one between this one and this one. And we'll just do that, right? Pretty simple, right? And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to group everything together, all these little leaves that I just made, right? So those, all of them, right? There we go. Group them together, Control G, Control J to duplicate, and then Control E to merge. I'm going to hide this, or just kind of call this backup leaves if we have to. I know it's leaves with a V, but whatever. We're going to go ahead and go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and we're going to go ahead and motion blur these by not too heavy, like maybe like, I don't know if it's 30 or so, maybe a little less, 15, 10. 10 is not bad. So 10, just to give it a little bit more of a blur and kind of like just have like a background kind of thing going on here. So right now I'm going to have to go back and make sure I'm going to drag these below all the colors that I did. That way we can get some of these that have different colors, but I don't actually want this one to just be like full blue. So I'm going to erase now. Just a little bit like that. This one has like a little bit too much red on it, this leaf right there. I just want to kind of like have it hovering on like corners, like, you know what I mean? There we go. That's not that bad at all. Sweet. So pretty much now, it's just a point where I'm just going to be adding more of the, maybe like even just trying to figure out where I want more of this light and color at, just to get that, like that little, just so we can show you guys. Without that color, it just doesn't really, give it like that little sense of hue. And that's all I'm going for right now, just that right nice little clean style. And so pretty much now I'm going to add these little raindrops in really quickly. And I will keep it pretty good size. I just typed in raindrops, as you can see in Google, and I found raindrops. We're going to go ahead and just flip through this. And we're going to see which one works. Let's just lower the opacity now, actually. Overlay is not bad. What about screen? Screen is, I just want like a simple little thing going on in the background, and that's not bad. I'll leave it like that for now. A cool little trick as well is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the leaf, right? This is that leaf. This is our name leaf. Here's all the like little other stuff, right? So I'm gonna make a new layer below the leaf. I'm gonna use a nice little black, or not like super solid black, but something like that. And I'm gonna come in right here, nice soft brush, nice little small soft brush, and just like put a little bit of like a nice little shadow. Just like so on the leaf. And there's too much pink around this, but I still want the pink to hit the drop shadow, so I'm just gonna erase it just a little bit, and like there, and then like over here, just like so. And then maybe just lower the opacity of the drop shadow just a little bit, like so. And also a little cool little trick that I did with the leaf was I made a actually gonna double click on the leaf really quick. The original leaf we're gonna use bevel and emboss, or bevel and emboss, whatever. I'm going to put the depth up. I'm going to put the size up to maybe about, I guess, almost max. So this is a little thing I used to always do. And I'm just going to I use like 580 for the depth and like 205 for the size, just to give you guys like a nice little setting. And we're going to go ahead and just fiddle with this a little bit. Give it a little more of a little depth, I guess, in it, right? Looks cool. And we'll use gradient overlay. We'll use radial. Nice little size here. Maybe put it on overlay and lower the opacity a little bit. maybe like to 10 or so. Press OK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of this little name leaf, Control J, and we're going to go ahead and just clear all that stuff we just did. So clear the layer style. And we're going to double click on this. Before we do that, actually, go to Fill, lower it all the way down to 0. That way when we put any effects on this, the effects will stay, but the image, as you can see, if I just move this around, you can see nothing moving around because you cannot no longer see the image because it's basically hidden kind of, but any effects that you put on the image will be seen. So if I go to Layer Styles, and if I go to Outer Glow, and I put this to white, and we just go ahead and put like a nice little size of the outer glow, and we just press OK. And basically if I right click rasterize the layer type, now it's no longer anything just besides like an outer glow. And what I can do is I can just move it like right here, just move it down a little bit, take an eraser just to give the leaf a cool little effect there, and do something like that. Right, it looks pretty cool. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you could do. If you kind of like want to, maybe you want to put like a name in the background. Why wouldn't you want to do that? I don't know. Maybe just put Seso HQ in the background. I can put something in the background. You can do whatever the heck you guys want. This is just like me showing you guys like what I would do like after. This is like all post stuff that you guys can do. And I can just lower the opacity down if I want to. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff you guys can go for. I want the leaves or the raindrops to come up just a little bit more. Something like that. Right, and then just basically for a final kind of thing, I'm going to go to brightness and contrast again, and we're going to go ahead and put the brightness up even more, but we're going to put the contrast negative just a little bit. So maybe like negative 15, and then for the brightness we'll go to like maybe like 15 as well, right? Just a little more light, a little more vibrance. I'm not a fan of this text in the background, but basically here we go. Like I'm going to lower this opacity though. To like here or so, right? All right, I'm down for that. So pretty much, as you can see, it's very tedious and annoying. You can like probably hear me like frustrated with like how it is, just because like I want like a little more light in different places, and I want a little less light in other places. But that's like a whole part of like you exploring and seeing what you guys want. I love the one that I did for the example, so I'm gonna show that one again just to show you guys what what's to happen, what's gonna go on if you guys take your time on it and stuff like that. So you can see the little hints of color are here that are like they're a little bit more or less saturated because I did a little bit more or less or controlled, I guess you can say, like hits of color. But what I did over here in the example is kind of like spontaneous or whatever. But you guys get the point. You guys can see it looks really dope. Also for the little you see these little particles going on around. I can show you how I did that as well if you guys want to see. What I did was I went ahead and used a new layer. I used a simple little elliptical marquee tool here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a brush. And we're going to use a nice little soft brush, and we're just going to go like this. And we're going to move the way to move the little marquee circle thing is you have to go back to the same exact tool and then move it. And then use your brush again, go back to your brush, little quick tool, which is B on your keyboard. And this is what I did, just like so. M again, B, and then just like that. Oops, I don't want it that dark. Something like that. I don't know if you guys want to explore with like doing something like this. It's kind of like actually cutting out the it's kind of like rippling the it looks cool, like a little ripple effect. You feel like a little the opacity a little bit, you can get a little cool little effect like that. That actually looks really dope. But the way I just want to show you guys how I did the like little particles, right? So I went to dissolve and I went ahead, just lower the opacity down, and of course you can erase a little bit if you want to. And I had some with a little bit of color as well. So the way I did that was I made a new layer or duplicated this layer. So duplicate with Control J. It has a dissolve layer still, but to get rid of the dissolve layer and actually change the color, because of course if you went to go, I guess, go like this and go to color change, whatever, green, a nice little visible green, right, something like that, press OK. And let's just say you wanted less particles, or even like you want to change the layer mode or layer style of it. You won't be able to do it unless you like trick the system and make a new layer again and then combine the two layers. That way, this is actually no longer like a dissolve layer. As you can see, if I lower the opacity, it won't actually not dissolve. It will just lower the opacity. So pretty much, you can just figure it out. I'll just erase like a little bit, like so. Give it a nice little something over here, over there. There we go. Now I got little particles going on. So it's a really cool little style. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was like very, it's very tedious, very long for something like this because it's just very simple, but it's just like, it's very controlled and you have to like really like, you got to feel it through. You got to go all the way to the end, then you got to go back and then figure something out and you do whatever the heck you guys want to do. I'm a fan of the Seso HQ in the background a little bit. It looks pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, of course. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Seso HQ. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget, guys, 200 likes on the video equals a secret down below. And don't forget to check out my Selfie, selfie.com/SesoHQ. And we are at, what are we at? 54.4, almost 4.5, right? Or you see that, it's freaking dope. We are going super hard, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I haven't done a white background tour in a very long time, so I know this is like, you know, probably like waited for a little bit of you guys who like white backgrounds, like simplistic little things like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. Say so with you out. Peace.